What's going on, guys? Welcome back to yet another online arbitrage tutorial. Now, I've already showed you how to go through a site like 888 Lots, right? And source individual items, kind of like coupon websites, right? Now, these are liquidation pallets a lot of times with 888 Lots, and you can also source individual items from those pallets potentially, although you do have to hit the threshold of $100, right? So you can't go through and buy like, a dollar item. You need to rack all those dollar items up to hit 100. What I personally like to do is I like to mix and match, right? So I'll order like a pallet or two, and then, as you see here, like I'm gonna run through here in a second, you have this pallet right here is like $18 for 46 items, and it's 39 cents a unit. Same thing with this one, $8 lot price, 46 items, 17 cents a unit. So if you look at these, and I'm going to show you examples of these here in a second, they're jewelry, so a lot of them actually don't sell well back on Amazon, and I'm going to show you how to do the product research in this video, show you how to find profitable products and profitable pallets. I'm going to show you an example of a profitable pallet that I'm about to buy as soon as we're done this video. I didn't plan this video. I was literally sourcing through like I would any other morning, and I was going through 888 Lots to buy my own pallet, and I found a great example of a pallet where you can basically pay for the pallet in one of the items, and then you have like 50 other items or 60 other items. 106 other items. Here's the example here in a second. We're going to talk about it. So you're going to pay for the pallet and some with one of the item things, and then you have like 100, or there's 15 of a quantity. Sorry, I'm doing a bad job of explaining it. But so with 15 of the quantity of one of the items pays for the entire pallet right here of about 300 bucks. And then I have the rest of the items, whatever that is, like 95, 96 or whatever, to pay for the entirety of the lot. I think I did bad math there, but you get the picture. It might be like 90 units, whatever. So what I'm trying to say is what I like to do is I'm going to go through, because I have to hit that $100 threshold to initiate the shipment, right? Is what I'm going to do is I'm going to order this pallet. I'm going to show you how I figured out that this is a profitable pallet that I want to go ahead and buy. And I might also add this pallet right here to it. It's $18 with 46 units. And I also might add this one right here. I want to look into them a little bit more. Now, if you see here, if I pull these pallets up, and another thing I like to do too is if I order this pallet and I order this pallet and I order this pallet, what I'll also do is to hit, because I've already hit that $100 threshold, I'll come into individual items as well, and I'll source through some of the individual items to see if there's any great individual items right here that I can also add to my pallet to make more money. That's what I like to do. If you just want to go through and source pallets, you can do that. If you just want to go through and source individual items, you can do that as well. But that's just what I like to do. I just like to get the most bang for my buck, because if I know if I'm paying $288 for a pallet and I'm already initiating that shipment threshold, I might as well capitalize on all the other ones that I can, because if I wanted to come through and just buy this pallet, I couldn't, right? Because it's only $18. I still have to hit, 72 or whatever the rest of that is, 82. I can't do math today for some reason. So I'm going to show you examples of pallets. If I were to source through this jewelry pallet right here, look, I'm paying $18 for the entire pallet. I'm getting 46 units, and believe it or not, these have been selling really, really well as long as you have like a good listing. And that's the benefit of these pallets, is they show you the ASIN, so you can take that ASIN and literally take the listing, all the good pictures, which are going to help it sell better on Poshmark and Mercari. And then as soon as you have a good listing, you can list it on Poshmark and Mercari and make like 5 to 10 buck profit margin on a lot of these jewelry items. Now, they don't sell well back on Amazon, as you see here. This is like a million or whatever. $1,174,000. So that's obviously not selling well back on Amazon. And that is the case for a lot of these jewelry items. They don't sell well back on Amazon. But if you're getting them at whatever it is, it's 17 cents a unit. You're paying pennies, literally pennies for this. And then you can flip them back on Poshmark and Mercari for a profit, and you're getting super, super, super cheap inventory. It might take you, a week or two, maybe a month to get all your money back, but then once you get your money back really fast from those, then it's just profit for the next couple months on the rest of those items. So that's just something I like to play around with. Let me show you an example of a pallet that I identified is a good pallet. Not talking about the jewelry anymore, okay? That's just a little side note, a little side kind of bonus tip for you. Not talking about the individual sourcing. That's just a little side tip, little bonus for you. What I was actually doing this morning is I was looking through some of the fixed price lots right here, and I wanted to basically identify what was a good fixed price lot and which ones I should source. Now, what I like to do is I want to go through the lots, and this is an example of one right here. It's $288 to my door. I think that doesn't count shipping. The shipping might be like 30 or 40 bucks, or it might be 20 bucks, depending on how much it weighs. But currently I'm paying $288 minus the shipping for $269 a unit for 107 units. So what I like to see here is I'm going to do product research ahead of time, right? This isn't like the coupon websites where you can literally just do a little bit of product research and you're only taking like a small risk on like a $1 item or like a small risk on like a $3 item, right? You're spending 288 bucks here, so you probably want to do a little bit more product research ahead of time to make sure that you're profitable. So what I'll do is I'll start at the top, right? And I'll literally go through and look at all the ASIN. So I'll take the ASIN into Seller Central and I'll paste it in, and I want to see, okay, what's the margin? What's the best seller rank, right? Is it selling well? Is it something that I can sell back on Amazon that I'm 100% sure will pay for the pallet? All I need to do is find a couple of items in the pallet that are going to pay for the cost of the pallet, and then I know that, okay, maybe 5 of the items paid for the cost of the pallet now. Now I have 100 other items that I can sell any other place. If I sell them back on Amazon, great. But if I sell them back on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari too, that's also a profit margin because I'm getting 100 free items because like 5 items paid for the cost of the pallet, right? But the best way to kind of learn this is literally trial and error. Hop on sites like 888 Lots, start sourcing, use the techniques that I'm about to show you here, and you can find great pallets that you're going to make a lot of money on if you're willing to put in a little bit of the legwork, right? So like I said, this is a bad example of a product. It's about 2 million, it looks like, or about 2 million. So obviously this isn't selling well. If I looked at this in Seller Central right here, it was a large. It's going to tell me that it's not selling very well, right? So yeah, it sells for $95.75, but it probably doesn't have a bestseller rank. It's probably not very ranked. Look, almost 3 million. So clearly that's not selling very well. So I can't bank on selling this back on Amazon. Obviously I'm getting one of these, so I'm getting a quantity of one of these, so I could sell this back on Poshmark, eBay, or Mercari for, $50, $60, $70 potentially, and eventually it probably will sell because it's a high quality item. It's a jacket, so we're moving into fall and winter, so a lot of these jackets will sell very, very fast on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. It might take a month and a half to sell them all, but eventually I'm going to recoup my money. So all I really need to find in all these items, and you get all the information right here: how many pieces, so how much quantity, what they're ranked in the category, so you can do some research, right? What they sell for on Amazon, what you're paying for them, and obviously you can't individually buy these, so the cost to you doesn't really matter. What you care about is the cost per unit up here, so the average unit price and your total price and how many units are coming in the box, right? So all I need to find is 1 or 2 unit things right here that are going to pay for the cost of the pallet, and then I have the rest of these items to sell back on Amazon, eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, whatever, for 100% profit. So if I sell them back, if some of them can resell back on Amazon, then great. If not, then, well, I can sell them on other sites and still make 100% profit margin. So let me show you the one example, because like I said, I was doing product research ahead of this video. I didn't plan to actually film this video, but once I saw a great example of a pallet, I was like, okay, I want to use this as an example so that other people can see there are great pallets on this website if you're just willing to do some of the product research. And I was probably doing product research for like 15 minutes. It wasn't long. Boom, found a great example of a pallet that I can resell. So let me show you what I mean. So here's the item. I was sorting through and I'm trying to find an example of an item that is literally just going to pay for the entirety of the pallet. Now that might be one item, as it is in this case, like I'll show you, or it might be like a combination of like 4 items. And as you see here, I usually have my calculator up, so I'm like adding it up. So I'm like, okay, that's $50 profit on that item. That's, maybe $45 profit on that item, and then another $70 profit on that item. That puts me at $165. So now I still need to make like another, it was $288, so I still need to make like another $120 to be profitable, and then see how many items I have left, right? But I don't have to add up all those numbers because this item right here will literally pay for the entire pallet by itself. So 15 pieces, I'm getting a quantity of 15 of these hats, right? Let me take the ASIN into Seller Central, and I'll show you what I mean. That's not the ASIN, that's double ASINs. So this pops up and it shows you it's 186,000 in close, right? So let me show you an example. And what size was it? It was an extra small. So extra small. And look, it's selling for $28.99. So we can assume that, let me show you the example of the bestseller rank really fast. So 192 in clothing, shoes, and jewelry, which is a big category. It's selling about 2 a day or about 60 a month. So eventually, if I have 15 of these, it should take me, if it's selling 2 a day, it should take me a little bit over a week to sell these. I like to usually take a conservative estimate. So I'm going to assume that it's probably only going to take me maybe 2 weeks to flip all these, and then I made my money back on the pallet, and I literally have the rest of these to sell for 100% profit margin. Look, this is worth $32, $17.50, $17.50, $20, $30, $30, $26, $50, $50. And look at all these high quality things that are brand new that I can flip back on Amazon, eBay, Poshmark, or Mercari simply because 15 of these hats paid for the entirety of the pallet, right? So look, there's only 2 other sellers, so I'm not really competing with anybody. One of them is Amazon. And one of them's Z Financial LLC, and they both have them listed fairly high, so I could clearly sell this back on this listing very, very quickly. I'm going to take the conservative estimate and say, maybe 2 weeks it would take me to sell these, but that's going to pay for the entirety of the pallet by itself. Because look, even if we assume that maybe we only make $20 after Amazon fees on this, 20 times 15, because remember there's 15 in the pallet, right? 20 times 15 is literally $300 profit, right? So $300 literally pays for the entirety of this pallet, which is $288. So now I'm positive on the pallet with one item, wherever it is. I'm positive on the pallet literally just by selling these 15 right here. Boom. And then I can sell the rest of these back on Amazon if I can sell them back on Amazon. So to give you an example, maybe this is a good Amazon product, maybe it isn't. It says it's $1,500 roughly in its category. But even if I can't sell them back on Amazon, it's still 100. What is that? Let's do the math so that I can stop guessing right here. There was how many? 107 in the pallet minus 15 items, because that's what we're saying is going to pay for the pallet. So literally 92 high quality jackets, coats, and shirts that I can sell back for, a ridiculous profit. Now let's assume that I make $10, which is super, super low, because keep in mind, a lot of these are worth a lot more money than that. You have like a bunch of jackets in here. Let's just assume like $10 profit margin on that. So 92 times 10 is obviously $920 profit off this pallet. And that's just assuming that. So let's assume very, very low, a $5 profit margin. It's going to be a lot higher than that. So $5 profit margin on the rest of those 92 still makes me $460. Now, if we sold them all for like 20, potentially, that's probably a little bit high, but let's just do the math because I like playing with numbers. Then that's $1,800 profit in this pallet. Obviously, as you see here, it's telling you that the estimated selling price on Amazon is that, the retail price is that. I never pay attention to these numbers, but they're just a little bit of encouragement. Now, this is a great pallet. I'm going to go ahead and potentially buy this pallet after this video. But you guys, if you hop on 888 Lots and you source some of these pallets and just do a little bit of product research, you're going to find great pallets that are going to pay for themselves time and time again. And then you're going to have a ridiculous amount of other items to sell for 100% profit margin. So that's online arbitrage in a nutshell. When you're doing pallets and you're obviously paying a lot more money, whether you're doing like electronic pallets, whether you're doing, any pallet whatsoever, especially if you have the insight right here where you have literally the ASIN and you can search it, do your product research ahead of time so you can be sure that it's profitable, and then you're not playing any guessing games, right? Then you're 100% sure that you're going to make a return on your money by going through and purchasing this.